That's right, dude.
Not lost though. This man's not lost. I promise.
All right, everybody, what's up? We're going live with Investor Thrive. This is the office hour call with Sean Hayes and Nathan Payne. Sean's going to be running this bad boy. I'm on here saying what's up. And we got Ali, one of our students out here, about to get thousands and thousands of deals. We're trying to help him, trying to get his business set up. So hop on this call if you want to, ask questions, and learn. So let's go, Ali. What you got? What do you got for Sean?
Let's see. Let me share my screen so the peeps can see. What was the? Which one we looking at?
1720 Dallas Avenue.
Dallas.
Welcome, Chandler, to the call.
Royal Oak.
Chandler's age. Chandler, we need you to get on the YouTube videos streaming.
Yeah.
7 on Nate Payne. We need to get to
Royal Oak, not Texas.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you? Where are we at?
Royal Oak, Michigan.
The office hour call.
MLS number. There you go. So let's take a look. You said you called, spoke to them, and this man was flexing on you, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. That's what's going on in here. So did you have any conversation with him, anything, or did he just immediately start asking about financing, this, that, and the other?
Immediately, he's like, don't even give me an offer. Don't even talk about price till you come see it.
Oh, so he doesn't want a blind offer. I mean, this does happen.
Yeah. And he's like, so I can give you the lockbox. You need to show proof of funds and send me a copy of your ID. And if it's under your company, you got to see it.
Do you have any contacts from your old brokerage that would open the door for you? Because I mean,
yeah, I spoke to one. She told me she might be able to schedule like 6:10 p.m.
Because that's how you get around the proof of funds. That's like, hey, let me just look at it, and you can worry about my money later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he wants you to look at it, but okay. So, well, that's obviously very whooped up in there. I mean, this is looking like a full rehab, right? But I mean, the fact that he didn't answer any questions, right? I mean, it's just, I guess they just don't want to. It's so stupid.
This neighborhood is the.
Let's see what else is for sale right here. You got 160, okay. Sorry.
It's one of the hottest neighborhoods in Michigan.
Well, that's why nothing's for sale, huh?
If you actually look even on satellite,
Mhm.
right behind it, that block, behind that property, there's like they tearing houses down and rebuilding them, selling them for like 800, 900,000.
That's very believable. Yeah, it's very believable. Okay, so cool. This one listed at 280. What's this thing look like? Okay, so this is just a nice family that lived there and treated their home nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're at 160, so they're right there. That's good. So it seems like it's priced decent, but let's look at the solds. Oops. Shoot. So, yeah. Let me make sure we're in the right spot. Flip it around. So you got 285, 285. Yeah, unfortunately, the sold data, as we looked at on Wednesday, or actually that was yesterday, Zillow's getting really good about pulling these things off. The pictures, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing they do now. I don't know if they're trying to make it harder for investors, what they're trying to do. But it looks like 280 seems like the number. I'm just curious if this was like an actual flip. I mean, that's a 3-1, right? What's yours? Yours is a 4-2. So that's better. And this sold 5 months ago. I mean, obviously it has a nice yard, right? Well-kept yard, nice single car. Final siding looked like it was in decent shape. So yeah, they opened up some walls here, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So laid down some hardwoods in good shape. Has central heating and air. Kitchen's not crazy. I don't know if that's doesn't look like quartz or anything. Looks like some trash countertop, honestly, but I don't know. Hard to say. It could be stone. But yeah, I mean, nothing crazy. They just, this is probably not a flip. This is probably somebody that already bought somebody who had rehabbed it. Okay, look at that. And you got, is this the down? No, never mind. That's the downstairs. So you have a finished, semi-finished area in the basement with a drop ceiling. So this doesn't even have in the description, I don't think. I mean, let's see. Perfect. Yeah, of course. Perfect for an Airbnb. Thanks. We can figure that out.
So let's just say it's the ARV is through like 270, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, looks like. I mean, this was a few months ago.
So let's give him action like a game like steps to take. So the agent will not let you go see the house, or make an offer until you see the house. Is that right, Ollie?
Yeah, and he wants proof of funds and all this extra stuff he was asking for.
So the question is, how would you navigate this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what, in your opinion, what would you do? I can tell you what I would do. After, I want to know what you would do. You're kind of newer to the investing world. What's your game plan?
Me, I spoke to my different real estate agent to schedule the showing
Okay.
to get around that.
Oh, that's
and yeah, that's all I know so far.
Okay. So for me, what I would do is I'd level with the agent and just be like, look, am I wasting my time? Like, you're already I don't mind. So this is how I would act. I'd be like, hey, look, I can get you all information. That's no problem. I buy and flip a lot of homes, but I mean, level with me. Like, is this going to go? Are they going to accept an offer today? Are they going to accept an offer by the end of the week? I just don't want to do all this work, go see it, show you that I'm legit, and then be up against like 50 other investors and just be another guy. Like, I want this house. So I would have that conversation and be like, is this really going to be worth my time? Like, I want this house. Is it going to be worth my time if I get you all the information? Because you're asking me more information than you have to give with 90% of the properties I deal with. And then if he's like, no, like we're going to make a decision today. Well, shoot, I don't have enough time today to get all that ready. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So do you understand? Like, I would just get down to the bottom of it with the agent because he thinks he's got some super hot, so he's not going to be easy to work with. So I would just see by asking him those questions how, like, what is it gonna take to get this deal done. I mean, did you bring up the double dip with him?
Yeah, but he wasn't like interested in any of that. He
Yeah.
wouldn't like even let me talk. He's like, go see it first. I'll send you the lockbox information. Send me what I want, and we'll talk more after that. He's like, I'm busy. Like, he's just ready to get the phone.
And you could be like, look, man, I understand you're busy. I'm busy too.
Yeah.
I can get you what you need. I just need to know if this is gonna be worth my time. Like, when are they gonna make a decision on the offer? Like, if I could offer you $200,000 for it right now, like, is it? And I can show you proof of funds. Like, do we have a deal, or are you gonna, or do we have to wait? So that's the kind of question I would have.
Right.
That's the conversation I would have. Because really, if you go send your agent, go see this house, you could be wasting your time.
Okay.
I think you could.
Yeah. So you want me to call him right now?
Yeah, call him right now and just be like, hey, we're looking at this house. Someone told us that this would be a good fix opportunity. And just get down to the nitty gritty of it,
Mm-hmm. Let's see if this man will answer.
Cool hat, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for contacting National
The
Realty.
bump out of here.
If you know your party's extension, you may enter it at any time.
Yeah, I give you a cell number.
Okay.
For our
Yeah, give me a cell phone.
248 206 8838.
$8838.
Yeah,
His name is
Leon.
Leo. Did you get it from the brokerage? They gave it to you?
No, I just found it.
Okay.
Found it on the internet.
Found it on the internet. Julio Buchanan. I can't answer the phone right now, but please leave your name and number.
I'm just gonna text him.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Like some of these agents, they're tough to deal with. So you just gotta, you know, for
Be a
example,
dick back. You gotta bully him a little bit.
yeah, like you'd be like, bro, I buy tons of houses now. Like, you don't treat me like I'm just a waste of your time, because you know, like don't be disrespectful or whatever. Because let me tell you another thing. Like my wife and I want to buy a property in Canada, because she's Canadian. And like I called an agent about a property, and this agent thought she was so cool. She's like, ha, the house already sold, like it sold within like an hour. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, do you think you're cool? Like, do you think you had something to do with this? No. So these agents, like they think they're hot because they don't have any skill. Like, look at these pictures. These are terrible pictures. Like, they obviously didn't even try. So
Right.
just like if they act hard, just be like, look, let's level with me. I know you probably get a lot of calls,
Don't
but
waste my time. I don't want to waste my time. You don't want to waste yours. So give me some information. I'm not gonna go look at a piece of trash house unless you give me some information about it. You know,
yeah.
Right.
So anyway,
man, that pisses me off. Kelly, what's going on?
Want to stop in and see what all the action was, see what's going on.
we're looking at houses, brother.
Man, we got
So
real
the fastest growing business is in the U.S. right now. See how you guys are doing.
Oh, dude,
Yeah,
we're making
we're
moves.
going. Yeah, this one we're not buying. That's for sure.
Yeah, so Ollie, that's the game plan. Call the agent again. Just be like, look, I'm willing to go see it. I'm willing to give you the documents you need, but I'm not going to waste my time if I go out there and then you already accepted an offer. Like, what if I give you 200,000, for example? Like, do we have a deal right now? Like, what's the deal? I don't want to have to go. It's a piece of crap. I can see from it. I don't need to go walk it.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Unless you like walking houses, I mean. And the guy's not even there. You could even just be like, yeah, I went and saw it. Well, I think they might have different lock boxes now that like see who actually went. But
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately,
anyway.
that's crazy.
It's like
Yeah. Kelly, you got anything you're looking at?
Nothing for us to put onto here. I do have a house in Orlando. I just got a call about yesterday. People are pretty good about calling me with stuff, which is kind of interesting.
Call Mule.
I don't know why, but they are. I'm grateful. But it's a guy who's a tired landlord wanting to get rid of it. He says it's negative that he doesn't like. It's always felt bad in his heart owning it and wants to just dump it. It's about half a mile to a mile away from a Buddhist temple. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. I mean, like, if that's your reason, I'm good for whatever you say, you know. So anyway, that's coming up. That should be a pretty good deal.
Craziest referrals, man. This is the power of networking. Anybody who's watching, Kelly.
Yeah, and by the way, Ollie, what Jerry Norton teaches is, you know, and a lot of guys that have been doing this for a while, a lot of the times when you call an agent, it's not so much about getting that one deal right then. It's about making that relationship with those agents so they can bring you stuff in the future. Like Kelly's a great example. He's just said he gets referrals sometimes. So like
sometimes every time I talk to the guy, he's getting a referral.
So anyway,
I had another call from a realtor. That's a good example, Nathan. Is I had a call from a realtor yesterday who had a project, and he didn't even look up the numbers. He says, I'll sell it to you for $4.25, and it's going to ARV around $650. And it was not the truth at all. It may not even get $4.25 minutes ARV.
Nice.
The fact he called me, I told him how much I appreciate it. He goes, yeah, I'm trying to get out of real estate. I've done it my whole life. But people keep calling me with stuff, and I just want to dump it off on somebody.
There you go.
I said, well, I'm your guy. Thank you for calling. Next time, before you ever list anything you come across, just give me a call. So I'm trying to build a whole stable of those type of people in my environment that can be a lead generator.
Well, that would be amazing, wouldn't it? So anyway, there you go. Kelly right there just showed an example. When you call these agents, it's not so much that you're always obviously you'd love to get the deal you're calling about, but agents that list crappy properties usually have a tendency to get more crappy properties. I don't know, like if they just have a specialty at it or people know them or that's where they're at. But if you see agents listing distressed houses, like become tight with them.
Yes. 100%. 100%. Cool.
Latoya's on here. What's up, Latoya? We
Yeah,
got
Latoya
Dalton.
on
We
here.
got Chandler. What's up, everybody?
You got Dalton down there. What's going on, everybody? Until you got something going on?
Yeah, I was looking at a property out here in Phoenix,
Okay.
and it's it needs work. You want me to go ahead and give you the address on it?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's 43 East Elwood Street, Phoenix.
Okay. What's going on with this one?
All right. So
Hey,
they
look at
sent.
that.
So I'm in communication with the person right now. I'm trying to make sure that this is the listing agent. But the price is $245. The ARV is $350. Just
Oh,
want
this one's pending. Are
it
you-
says it's pending, but the guy just told me that that's not true.
Okay.
So
But you called Lori Ann and talked to her?
you know what? I did not. I just responded to because they have it listed on Facebook. So I do have to do my due diligence on that part. 'cause
Yeah, you got to be careful with Facebook because sometimes people on
Great
Facebook.
place.
Mhm.
I said it's a great place to find deals, but yeah, you got to quickly do that search.
Yeah,
There it is.
yeah.
No, what I found sometimes on Facebook is some like scammers will like post a property that's listed on the MLS and they'll try to like get like a down payment or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
just-
that's
just-
wild.
just hit up-
It literally just came up, and I'm like looking at it now. So I'm asking him all these questions, like, if it's pending,
No,
why
guys,
are you trying to sell?
that guy's a waste of your time. You need to talk to Lori Ann. Lori Ann is who is the agent, and she's
Mhm.
nothing's gonna happen on this house since she signed the
That's Lori Ann
contract.
said.
Yeah,
Nothing's happened
yes.
unless it goes
And
through
that's
her.
the listing agent.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
call her right
Oh,
now.
Yeah, let's call her.
Yeah, call her. I'd like to hear this.
Call her.
Yeah, never mess with anyone on Facebook if the house is listed on the MLS. There's no reason to list a house on Facebook if you got a real estate agent, unless the agent listed it, but they don't do that. Not really.
Mm.
Yeah, Lori Ann.
And I would, and honestly, if we were to speak to her, I would let her know that someone's like posting this listing.
There's
on
our girl
Facebook.
right there, Lori Ann. Let's get it.
Let's get that's the number.
Okay. So I'm doing the call on it?
No,
Okay.
you can, but Sean was gonna do it.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, go ahead, Sean. I didn't know. Okay.
I mean, figure we get to the bottom of it right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But from my background, from my experience, Facebook, if they got a house listed, it's a scammer. If it's not the agent.
Especially when it is listed.
Hey, this is Lori.
Hi, Lori. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. This is Sean Hayes. I was giving you a call. I saw about your listing there on 43 East Elwood Street in Phoenix.
Yes?
Yeah. I was looking at it. Is it pending already or?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's interesting. I saw it on Facebook. Somebody had been marketing it. Yeah, for a different price. So I'm just curious. I don't know. I forgot his name. It was earlier in the day. But I don't know. Do you think the person who's buying it is going to be legitimate, or do you think this is some scammer on Facebook that's just posting this?
You saw it on Facebook where?
I think Marketplace. I was looking at properties or something, or maybe it was like a Phoenix real estate group. I'm not sure.
Okay, yeah, because it actually, it was pending yesterday. So if
Okay.
it was posted today, then most likely it is spam
Okay.
or scammer.
Gotcha. Well, okay. So I'm a real estate investor. I'm looking to buy, fix and flips, possibly buy and holds. Do you have anything else that that has an up and coming maybe, or any other trashy looking house?
I currently don't.
You don't? Okay. Well, do you keep track of do you have a list of
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay.
Yes, if you like, you can text me your information and I'll put you on my list.
Okay. Cool. So you don't have any pocket listing or nothing coming up though? Nothing else?
No, not at this moment.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll text you my information when we get off the call, and put me on your list. And if you got something that, if you'd like to possibly.
Did this go
refer
for
you to the
cash?
market and give you a price, I'd be happy to do that.
Okay, will do.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
I'm wondering if the buyer that bought it was went for cash. If it was an investor or something.
Of course it is. Look at it.
Well, who knows? It could be a family that doesn't give a bump.
I don't know. I think let's see.
So Latoya, did you hear that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So anytime Facebook, waste of time. If it's listed, it's scammers. Happens all the time. I talked to this
It
girl
always
like a
do.
month ago that she was like, I just got this house on like off of Facebook for like 50% of ARV, and I was like, nah, that's a scam. And she's like, no, it's not. And she like fought me on it, and then yeah, it was a scam. So just you gotta be careful.
It's funny because I actually listened to that call too.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Hey,
It's all good.
It's
trust me, they weren't gonna get any earnest money out of you. We wouldn't have let them. Don't worry. You weren't gonna be that one to be like, oh, just send the money here. Like, yeah. no.
nah. I was still I literally right when you guys got on this call, I seen it and I was like, let me see. And then I looked on there, it said pending, and I'm like, pending.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's crazy.
It happens. I mean,
Well-
I because sometimes you're looking for better like other avenues to get deals. But I mean, right
Mhm.
now where we're getting our deals are like pay-per-click leads, cold calling leads, agents, and other like marketing places like Sunday, Homelight, like verified places, right? Like Facebook, Craigslist, like those are okay, but you're gonna deal with a lot of trash.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And
But-
even on for sale by owner, like we've posted a lot of for sale by owners, not even owning the property because we're trying to market. So even for sale by owner on Zillow can be trash
Okay.
because they can just be
Sure.
wholesalers.
All right. Let me text it real quick. What else we got? Anybody else?
Let's see.
Funny in that description that they say there's a tree for shade. Obviously, that's hot there. That must be an important feature.
It says
I don't
there's a
know.
tree for shade. Is that what
This
it
thing
says?
needs some work, though. Let's be real. Yeah, here's your shade right there, Kelly.
Yeah, there you go. One chair.
Man, look at this roof. I mean, is that the attic upstairs? I don't know what that is. That's sketch.
Yeah,
All right.
work.
You,
Well, I
you,
guess we don't-
you should definitely, Latoya, you should text this agent and just be like, look, I saw a listing. I know it's pending, but will you keep me in touch if it doesn't go through? Because who knows, like the investor could fall through, and this is
Yeah.
definitely a good flip.
Yeah, you should actually you should let her know the name because maybe the person who's I mean, I know nobody wants to blow the cover on other people, but if you're marketing your deal on Facebook, like it, maybe that was the actual wholesaler that has it in her contract and she's wasting her time.
Hmm.
Go in there and be like, hey,
I didn't, Sean, I did not think of that. That could have been a wholesaler that was trying to sell this
In
thing.
fact, yeah, I didn't want to ask for that right there because I was like, I didn't have the name.
Yeah,
But
because that
you
would
should
have
call back and be like, hey, I saw this on Facebook too. And so then she'll be like, oh yeah, I heard that. Like, yeah, is so and so under contract? Like, is this the guy? Like, is this him? And if she says no, then it's like, okay. And then I
Yeah,
would
'cause
ask.
they
Yeah.
said that the owner is an investor. So
Yeah. Because this probably is going for cash. Yeah, I would say.
I didn't connect that, Sean. You're right. It could be just a wholesaler trying to move the deal on Facebook.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not exact.
What were they trying to sell it for to you, Latoya?
245.
Oh yeah, it's a wholesaler. They're
They probably have it at like 244. Like,
they're trying to make a couple. They're trying to make $500. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a wholesaler. So what you have to do, Latoya, is you gotta be on that. You gotta be on that that agent and be like, hey, if it falls through, I want to be the first to know. Because yeah, it's definitely a wholesaler.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to run any like numbers to see what if you call her back? I mean, because it looks like it. I mean, these are what this was. I mean, almost a year ago now, but this thing's smaller. It sold for 223. But look how nice it is compared to that thing.
I mean, to be honest, they've got they went too high. I don't think they'll be able to buy it.
Way too high. I mean, so
This
I
is
would
this is what
definitely-
happens. Sometimes agents will just play and go ahead with a high crap, like an offer that's probably not legit, just in the hopes that it'll work. But
but deep down they know this ain't gonna work. So this one was bought at 115. So I mean, this kind of shows you where. Now this one was a little bit bigger though, right? I mean, this one was It's like a little bit more square feet. Yeah. So
So I get like leads every day from this place. I spoke to Sean about it yesterday. Net Worth Realty USA.
Yep, Net Worth Realty, we get them too.
Oh, okay, yeah. But it's like every time I click on it, I'm like, where do they get their comps from? Because
yeah,
the amount of money
do
that
not
they
trust a
want.
realtor. Do not trust their comps ever.
So
Yes,
Net Worth
I'm like,
Realty are they're just a bunch of wholesalers that work under a brokerage. So they're wholesalers with licenses.
Exactly. It's exactly what they are. And also this area is kind of semi-industrious. You can see there's some mixed use here. I mean, this is not a cookie cutter neighborhood by any stretch, right? So, you know, it looks like this house is bigger and different than these other ones anyway. So, I mean, you have to be pretty low on that one, honestly, probably closer to 100. I mean, I guess if this thing sold for 223 though.
Sean, you got to look though. They bought it for 115 in 2020, so that was 2 years ago.
I know. No, you're right. I mean, but this house, you're right. This house is not that much bigger. So let me see. I mean, this
Thing's nasty too, bro. I mean,
I mean, they're basically listing it for close. I mean, it could probably go for like honestly like 275, 280, maybe 300. I mean, but I wouldn't be the investor betting on 300. That's for sure. So let's just say it could go for 280. I mean, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But 160, who knows how much work that thing needs? I mean, easy 60K. I mean, that would be in the wheelhouse, right? I didn't mean 100. I got my numbers mixed up, but yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think the max you could go on this one is probably like 180.
But that's if you're gonna flip it, right?
If you're gonna flip it yourself, right?
Yeah. And that's
so dude, that whatever wholesaler got that deal, come on.
Out of their mind. Yeah, I mean, out of their mind. So it's crazy. And yeah, it's not the best little cookie cutter neighborhood. So I mean, you got to look at these areas and go, well, I mean, this is not where you want your first flip to be, right? It's like next to all this, like you want it to be in a nice cookie cutter place. Unless of course you can get a great deal, then it doesn't matter, right? But yeah, this is not the one, honestly. Yeah, what else we got? Anybody else? Dalton, I know I talked to you earlier. Yeah, let me know about those deals you're working on. Message me. Ali, you got anything else? Any other ones you're looking at?
No, not at the moment. I was looking at the one I gave you.
Shoot, we called that one guy yesterday. I don't know what that guy. He called me back and he sent me some property. I was like, hey, I need properties that are in neighborhoods like above 75, 80K, not like. He sent me one in a neighborhood. It was like a 30K neighborhood. I was like, no, we can't do those in Detroit. We gotta have a decent spread, you know.
Right.
Yeah, the only ones that those go to are like buy and hold investors. There's just no money for a fix and flip.
And there's no money for the wholesaler. It's like it's simply,
unless it's like a couple thousand.
Right. Yeah. It's just, yeah. I mean, exactly. You know. Yeah. It's rent.
Even if you buy and hold them, they like garbage properties. You're still gonna have to fix them up to rent them. You know.
Exactly. So it's yeah. I'm like, hey, no, we can't. Don't send me any more of those. I give him a little better buy box. So we'll see if he sends me anything. I'll let you know, Ali. But
what is he, a wholesaler or a real estate agent?
He's just a bird dogger. He's not even a wholesaler. He's a bird dogger, which is worse. All right. Kelly, you got this one?
Yeah, I actually am going to be meeting this guy in 2 weeks.
Okay.
I know he's going to want. I don't know what he's going to want, but I know it could be a deal.
Okay. Well, let's crunch some numbers. That's what we love to do, baby.
So there's this woman who who I've been working with for a couple months now. She has 2 properties in Lynchburg, Virginia. Lynchburg, Virginia. And I've wholesaled there before, but
I remember Lynchburg, but I cannot remember that was one of those like medium-sized towns in there, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's an investor that I've worked with that buys a lot of properties out there, and she has 2 properties, 500 and 500 and 504 Amherst.
Oh, here, I'll do that one next.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry, I'll do that one next.
Okay.
Do this one real quick. So, yeah, so 2006 Bill, love it. Where's the poker again? This is
Apopka is just on the west side of Orlando.
Okay.
It's connected. They're all the little cities all wrapped into the big city.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I mean, this is the definition of a cookie cutter neighborhood, right? Perfect. So you got your solid comps in there. So these are all in the neighborhood. Okay, so you got one for 430. What's up with this one? Do you know what the style house is? It looks like there's a couple different styles already, just from.
There are several. Most of them are like the
Is it like these? I wouldn't call this colonial, but 2-story.
yeah, just the 2-story house.
Is the one you're looking at a 2-story like this?
No, I think it's the 1-story. It's another one of those. The renter there heard that they're wanting to buy it, right? So I'm going to make a deal and just wholesale it to them.
Love it.
So
Yeah.
they gave me the landlord's name. He's got families want to take care of. He's an old guy that he wants to give cash to. So
How did
I'm
they
looking out
connect
the
with you?
details of that.
How did they connect with you? How did you find this?
One of the guys that did some work for me, some design work, happened to know him, and they told him, and he told me, and I called them.
So this is a new strategy, everybody. You go to the tenant, you say, "Hey, we're gonna get this house for you," and wholesale it to the tenant. This is groundbreaking.
I guess that's
This is the
I know,
definition of
that's
creative.
true. That's a good strategy.
I think that's an interesting concept. And if they blow it and they can't buy it, then what are you gonna do? Just buy it yourself?
Yeah.
Love
The,
it.
the
Buy and
new
rent.
the new groundbreaking strategy right there.
You guys, you only get it here. So.
Yeah, I would buy it and then rent it to them.
So this one sold 370. I don't know if yours is a 4.3, but and I don't know what the dimensions are. Oh wait, sorry, what am I talking about? So this is a 4.3. Okay, yeah, sorry, I forgot. Yours is I'm losing my mind. Okay, so there's your guy right there. Or is that your tenant? That's just a kid. Okay. So does that look like this one? Sort of.
Yep.
Okay, similar. Yours is bigger. I think it was. Yeah, bigger. Okay, so that's good. So that was 370. I mean, almost half a year ago. So that's
I'm
good.
thinking that this thing might appraise. I mean, it's in great shape. It's just dated.
Okay. Let me see what this what they did for 370. I don't know if we'll get the pictures, but
I'll
Come
show you
on.
what I mean by dated. See if
come on, give me some pictures. Yeah.
Come on.
So carpet. I mean, they painted it gray probably before they left. Looks like fairly new paint, but not that new a carpet. Kitchens, whatever. Probably. I don't know. I don't know if that's. I doubt that that's the builder grade from 2006. That looks like somebody did. Well, what do you think? That's a good question. I don't know. Flooring is probably original in there. So I mean, they didn't do very much to get this number, right? This is probably somebody that lived in there. Let's see.
Yeah, and they've come in. The tenants on their own have put like new flooring in, and they have good taste. So I'm not worried about their
Gotcha.
choice like a lot of tenants.
So yeah, I guess okay. Yeah, this was I don't know. This went through a lot of different hands actually. I don't know. Family trust. Somebody probably died. Who knows? But okay. So this probably wasn't a flip. Is my point? I guess at this point, right? This is probably
No.
just sweat equity, whatever. If they put anything into it, I'm sure they put something. Let's see what this one looks like. 340. This is a year ago. This is probably. Oh, it's pretty similar. That's like the exact style. There you go. There's your house. But this one's got an extra bathroom. I mean, yours has an extra bathroom. So let's see what kind of work they did on this one. Okay, so this looks like, okay, there's your builder grade.
Yep.
So if you do nothing to it, You just list it. That was, I mean, well, it doesn't. I don't know. Maybe that flooring's original. It's hard to tell, but definitely not a flip, right?
I'm thinking the renters is the best option because I think I can get this for around $350, and I think they would pay $4.25.
Interesting. So, are you gonna buy it and then do like a contract for deed with them or something, or?
I'm not sure how I'm going to proceed on it yet. They're already they've called me about, they're already looking for.
Do you want to run some long-term numbers?
Yeah, we can. That'd be good. Any of that kind of stuff always helps me learn.
So, well, okay.
Maybe even look at what the rental value would be in the market. Do you have the ability to do that?
Yeah. We can look on Rentometer. Let's see.
Not the ability, but do you know how to do that?
Yeah,
rent-
all you do is you look at what the rents are on Renometer, or you look
That's
at
true.
what
That's
rents
true.
are
Or you can
for.
just go right here.
You can just go right there on Zillow and just see what
That's
rents
true.
are for in the area for rent. That's like the best indicator, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is probably for sure the best way. So 15 days ago listed. That's another neighborhood, but I wanted to see what the facts and features are. I won't show it. That's stupid.
Yeah, I told them if I rented it back to them, I'd have to charge them $2,500 a month.
So this looks like a
Ooh.
pretty similar, house. I don't know if, I can type it in here just to see really quick. So yeah, that's 2,500. This one is 3.2, 1,700. So yeah, we're pretty much looking at pretty similar dimensions, and this looks like it was pretty much 2000-ish build as well. So some of that doesn't really matter, for rent, but
It's a nice area. It's an upcoming. It's kind of in the houses will maintain value there
yeah.
for sure.
So if you could get it for, you said you could get it for 3?
No, probably 350.
Oh, 350.
But I wouldn't, if I resold it to them, I wouldn't put anything into it. They'd have to do that.
Okay, so you're buying 350, and then
If I bought it and
what are your
rented to
financing?
them,
What's your finance looking like?
I am going to do the financing right now would be 10% down at 6%
6%. Okay. Closing
on
costs,
a
probably a little more than that, possibly.
yeah, probably.
Maybe, I don't know, 35. What do you think?
Yeah, that probably work.
Are you gonna so they're gonna self-manage, so you don't have any property management. You're not gonna put a dime into it,
No,
and it looks like you can get 2,500. But let's just tone it down. I don't know. Just to see. Occupancy rate, you'd be dealing with 100.
yeah.
What do you think? Are you going to make them pay taxes and insurance and everything?
I'll probably set this up like a lease option or rent option of some sort.
Okay. So then,
So they can get into it and improve. That's what they want to do. They don't want to have to move. They want to buy the house. They're very motivated to do that. So
that's great. So you're paying through. Okay, cool. Well, what kind of down payment do you think you can get from them?
I don't know that. That's a good question. Maybe up to 25.
25. Okay.
If I want to drain them all their cash. It would, I could do less, obviously.
Yeah. So I don't know. So operating expenses, do you think you'd have any between taxes and insurance?
Taxes, I looked that up. I don't remember off the top of my head. When you look at lots of stuff, you kind of blend all these numbers.
Yeah. Let's just say 350. That's kind of a safe number.
Okay.
And let's say it here. So let's see how your cash would perform on this one. So you wouldn't be making a lot. Obviously, you know that. Your goal would be to make that money at the end, right?
Yeah.
So let me get my flip calculator out. So how long of a term would you give them?
Less than a year, probably a year.
Less than a year, huh?
They're looking at being able to do this by like September, October.
They think that they're going to be able to refi out for 425 and have the cash.
They think so. They think they have a family member that they're taking in, like a mom to live with them that has cash to help do the deal once she's out of her place.
Okay. Where's my? I forget what the name of my calculator. Oh, easy calculator. I know I have.
I've never done a deal like this. So I'm just trying to, you look at stuff and you always try to figure out some type of puzzle to make it work.
So I know I have this calculator somewhere. Let me see. Open it. Yeah, open. Give it a look. So this is you got to have one of these calculators. There we go. Yeah. All right. So, oops, sorry. Own calculator. So you're gonna buy 350. Interest rate 6. It's gonna be 30-year. So you're looking at this payment, right?
So what if we just did interest only?
Well, so hold on. First, let's figure out because okay, so if it's a year, then I was gonna look at the table. I mean, I thought you're considering a longer term.
Well, I might end up doing that. If they don't come through, I've got to consider that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, after 12 months, right, they would barely have paid off nothing. Yeah, because what I was trying to figure out is what you would make it after you sold for 425. But let's see.
And maybe, maybe it sells more, at that point, if they don't come through. I think the appraised value on it right now is going to be probably at least 450. It might even go a little bit higher depending on the appraiser.
Okay.
But I can borrow 90% of that appraisal value.
Yeah, so then yeah, I mean, I'm trying to figure out, I mean, yeah, I mean, it would be a great deal, right? I mean, so because you'd be obviously the risk would be, if something happens in the house, obviously the paperwork needs to be in a good spot for you, but obviously the worry is like, if they blow it, I don't know if you know these people personally or not, right? But if something happens in the house, right, and all of a sudden it needs major work, and you're still stuck at 350,
Right.
That's the question you need to ask yourself more than anything. And at that point, we're speculating that maybe one day you could get 425. You're at 350.
I can definitely get to 425. That wouldn't be a problem.
Okay. So then, I mean, it's like, I mean, if they you would get your money out, right? Like, you're safe. Because I mean, your payment would be a little bit higher than that, but yeah, I mean, this is like looking at it, right?
Yeah, that's interest only. When you put that into the payment, that's just an interest
Yeah.
payment.
I know that's not going to work on here. But yeah, I mean, if you were at
Hey, what up,
345
Wake?
at that point in a year, right? And it probably wasn't going to need 50K.
Yeah, well, yeah,
right?
bro,
But
I
who
got
knows?
time. I'm just
Saying
working. What's
worst
up?
case scenario, something like that. I mean, you're safe up to a point. That's really
No, man.
you
I'm
wouldn't
just
lose any
working,
money.
just
You'd have the
doing
depreciation for
doing
that
my
year.
thing,
Yeah.
Use that. I mean, there's all that to consider. Interesting. I don't know. Obviously, you want to get it lower, right? You can get a little lower.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet, but I know it's going to be at least that. That's kind of that's the first shot fired is that amount.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know.
And the other side is by the time, maybe I negotiate a higher sell price. Because I know the appraisal will come in at least 450, possibly higher.
Okay. Yeah, because if you can negotiate a better price, then that's critical. But yeah, I mean, this one obviously 370. It didn't go crazy in there. So
Okay.
you're right. You could probably get 425
Uh-huh.
in 1 year for sure. I mean, assuming that things don't take a turn, right?
Yeah.
Nobody knows, but that's an interesting one. Well, let me know how that one works out. I mean, there aren't really any numbers to crunch yet. Those are all hypotheticals, unfortunately. But
Yeah, the owner has a wedding for his daughter in a couple weeks, so it's like the worst time to talk about it. But
of course,
right after that,
he'll
one
probably
he'll
need some
come in.
cash after that.
Yeah, right after it's over, he'll need some cash, so that's a good time to chat with him about it.
That's good. Okay, cool. All right. You guys, anybody got anything else? Oh, that's right. You had one. Sorry, that was long-winded. What you got? So you there? Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
All right. So there's two properties that I have been working with the seller, let's see, for the past couple months, probably since January.
Okay.
But she wanted too much for them, and I had did a
Okay.
text blast this morning, not realizing that she was a part of that listing that I had already contacted her. And I just wanted to see if you could take a look at what numbers I can offer her, because if she's still trying to sell it, then she might be a little bit more motivated to go down on the prices.
Cool.
Um,
Let's look at it.
So it's gonna be 500.
I don't think we're gonna
Amherst
create a
Street and
studio at the moment because we
504
don't
Amherst
we don't
Street
want to
in
spend the money on the
Lynchburg,
equipment yet. If we
Virginia.
can just use the other storage, we
AM
might as well just get
G
lights
or
and just
H?
use them there.
Amherst.
Yeah. Oh, HERST.
What do you think?
So what was the money you
Lynchburg.
proposed?
Lynchburg.
No.
So basically, the
Okay, just put it like that.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see if it does. Street. Gotcha. I knew it would figure it out.
Mhm.
All right. So where? Let me see Lynchburg again. Sorry.
1100,
I
and
feel
you'll
like
be
I have-
here Monday, Tuesdays,
That-
Thursdays,
that number's here.
every week of the month.
Yeah, every week. From
What's the
5
population?
hours to
80,000.
7 hours.
Okay.
If you do the math,
That's not the
you
small
break
town.
it up,
Where was it again?
2 hours.
Lynchburg.
We're talking about if I go
Shoot.
there at
That's
least
that's
5
a
hours.
that's a state right there in the middle of nowhere.
Sorry, 2 to 3, nonstop.
Okay.
You're
All right.
talking about
Let's take a
$80
look.
an hour. But I'd rather
So you
not
got
do
this
that
one,
because I'm pretty sure I would want
and
to
wh-
be working
and what was the other one?
more, 'cause I wanna-
504.
I wanna
Okay,
help
we'll look
the
at that one in a
project
minute. I
eventually
mean,
the thing.
So this here goes some notes from this one for the 500 one.
Mhm.
Um,
Try to do as much as I can and be involved with the
It-
project rather than just
let's see.
be
It's a
out of
6-bedroom,
business.
2-bathroom.
Ooh,
Yeah, I
1890.
think that makes
Oof.
sense. I mean, if
That's
you do it
old,
right,
huh?
Oh man, you never know what
No,
happens
I
when you
said I
start
think that
ripping
makes
walls in
sense
the
if you
1890 house.
you know the only thing with paying hourly is just
Yeah.
easier to
Just kidding. Hi,
manage, right?
Celeste.
Because if
Sorry,
you're
go
not
ahead.
here, then
Ghosts.
it's easier to be like,
Ghosts,
hey,
yeah.
well, we can't pay you because you didn't come. But if it's just like a fee, one day you don't come,
6-bedroom,
and,
two
something
bathrooms,
happens, it's just
Okay.
harder to manage.
3 bedrooms and 1 bathroom on each side.
Oh, sorry. This is a multi.
Yeah.
Oh, is it-
She had it rented the last time I spoke to her. She had both properties rented already.
It's called it's a
And
single-
they were
calling it a single family.
I'm interested because
Do you know if it's like permitted through whatever county or city they're in?
I've been
Or is it
No, I'm not.
a little under the table type duplex?
for businesses,
Uh-huh.
Let me see.
every single time I offer that to businesses.
Yeah, it's a multi.
they're like,
She said it's a
"No, we're good,
multi-family
but
home.
Hey, what about like on English? Can you do any like English marketing? And like, yes, I could, but that's
Swirling
not really
here.
my goal. What I would
Hold on
like
now.
to do. So
Okay,
I was thinking
well-
maybe offering what you guys doing.
Multi then is
and of course you don't have
it's different,
to do
right?
anything,
Because
but, basically I'll be
I mean,
if you
if
need
well, you
Spanish,
could comp a multi if it's in a multi-family area where there's like several similar types of multi-units.
coach
Mhm.
those
Usually that's not the case.
What-
So
Well,
in
so
those scenarios,
would you think
it
about creating
becomes
a different
much does she
channel,
want?
like
Like,
a
you gotta
different
put the-
channel for Investor
how,
Drive in
how much
Spanish?
is she asking?
She wants back then she wanted 100K, but she said it would be negotiable. And I can't remember what I offered her. I'm looking in my Podio right now.
2 units. Do you know what they were rent?
Shoot, I had it down. I didn't update it. Yeah, she gave me the rental
If
rates
there's
on
anything
it
for
too.
rent right here.
something I would like a project that I would like to
See.
just to have on my
It's been on there 19 days, huh?
businesses what I can do for these
Yeah,
businesses
look
in
at,
Spanish just because they just don't want to. They
Cross-
don't see
cross-reference
potential. They
with
rather do videos in English
Rento
because
Meter.
they are not doing it. So that's why I thought about that. I don't know
Let's
what
just
you
do
think.
3-3.
I think that's a great idea. I think
So,
12.
I think that would be
Okay.
awesome
So-
to do that if we were to try and
Let's just
market this in Spanish too, because I'm sure there's
Yeah.
tons of people who want to
We'll
invest
just
in real
call
estate
it
in that speak
a
Spanish.
little less to be safe. Keep your numbers tight.
especially in California.
Yeah, I think you
so-
would do. I
well,
think that's a great idea.
So it's 3 on each
If
side.
anything, it's
I
just
mean,
going to increase
So yeah, they probably
the amount of views and the amount of
probably
our reach. You know what I'm saying?
get a little less for like a unit like that.
I think it's a good
Not
idea.
much, but a
So
little less.
let me talk to Corey.
Let's
So
just say
1,100.
You're
You come
averaging
in 3 days a
$1,000
week
between. So it's
for
gonna
at least
multiply
5
by
hours
2.
a day. If you
Operating,
go, it's
I'd be
great.
guessing.
And you're gonna manage
occupancy,
Felgreen. You're gonna
you
make
don't wanna go
content. You're
there.
gonna manage. That
Most
getting
people are probably
posted.
gonna be
You don't
closer
have to
to
do the
7.
posting. We can have Jaw
Like
do
that's
it.
the
We're
average right
probably
now.
gonna open up a couple more channels.
Property management fee.
Yeah, let me
Now the question is how much work? Any idea?
I do not. I'm not sure how to comp that.
Well, there's there's no way to comp it. It's let's just say it needs 25, but that seems unlikely. I mean, I'm sure this is going to cash flow well, right? I mean, yeah. So the question is now we're in Lynchburg, VA. I don't have any idea what a landlord would want to cash flow out there, and that's because I mean, yeah, we could go back and look and see what we think it could sell for. I mean, because obviously that's important too. But this thing right here, 3.2. What year was this thing built? Sold for 105. That's an 1880. Okay. So I mean, this one that sold for 105 1 year ago. I mean, that thing's in pretty nice condition. Let's be honest with ourselves. That doesn't make sense. So if that thing sold for 1, that's not. Why does it say it's okay? I mean, that's not bad. Obviously, it's not a multi-unit. This is a single family. There's a bunch of old houses here. I mean, this seems very nice. Yeah, because I mean, I don't know. It's hard to wholesale like a multi-unit if it needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
Because usually they're not looking at this. They're not looking at the like what it's going to sell for, right? They want to know what it's going to rehab, what it's going to cash flow. So when you're looking at stuff like this, I mean, cash on cash. Now, who knows? This thing could need a lot more work. But the problem is like the person who wants to keep this as a rental and is be happy to buy it from you is the same person that doesn't want to do that much of a major rehab. They're the ones that want to carpet and paint something. And some of these older homes, right, they could need a total overhaul. So would need some info on what this bad girl is looking like right here. This one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, does it have kitchens like on each floors, stuff like that?
There should be. Are there no inside pictures on Zillow with that one? I thought it was.
I don't know. Okay, what is this? Sorry.
Oh, that is Zillow.
Sorry, yeah. Yeah, there's no pics or nothing like that.
Let me see if I got pictures on my email
this-
because I remember.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be a lot to consider on this one, right? Is like, are they split level? Is someone living in the back? They have equal square footage, right? I mean, there's obviously an addition on it, right?
Mhm.
So, a couple of things, but it is interesting. I mean, it's not a bad price point. But like,
I just don't. I just wouldn't know what to say yes or no to because I have an investor that would possibly
Well, I
purchase.
would reach out to the investor and say, and just like, I mean, you and I can look at this more deep if you get some more information.
Mhm.
We can play with these numbers more, and instead of telling them the property address, just say, hey, I got this one on wherever, and this is what it could bring in. Like, what kind of numbers are you looking for, right? So you have, instead of having like a flip conversation or trying to sell it, you just say, I'm trying to figure out what are you looking for as a return on your money. You reverse wholesale it, right?
Mhm.
Figure out what are you looking for, right? And see if it makes sense before you tie it up. That's how I would approach that. So if you want to reach back out to that seller, get some more additional stuff. So some questions I would ask would be, are the utilities like split between the house? meaning electric, water, gas. What is there anything split? Are there split meters, like utility wise? And then also figure out like if this was legitimately permitted through whatever county or city or municipality monitors this, because like I said, it says it's a single fam. So let's see if this prop stream thinks it's different. It says it's single family as well. So are you talking to one of these peoples?
Sure. Lizzie Harris is who I'm talking
Oh, that's good news.
to.
That's a good sign. So what was the other one? 505?
Well, that one, the other one is actually a plot of land. It's land.
Land out here, huh? Land. I mean, so
504.
what is it?
They're selling it together, I think.
Would they? Yeah. I don't know. Land is, unfortunately, land you would think would be a benefit,
Mhm.
but land is just more taxes. So like if they're like, I'm not selling it without the land,
Mm.
that would even possibly complicate it, right? Because I mean, the cost to build something on it would be more than what you get. I mean, I don't know.
Mm.
The permitting and everything that would take. So I would reverse wholesale this one. I would talk to the person that you worked with last time, ask if they buy rentals, whatever. Try to connect yourself with somebody that'd be interested in a rental. And then, I mean, I could get on the phone with you. We could walk and have a conversation and just say, hey, this is where the numbers are looking like they're going to be. Would this be a good cash on cash for you? That's the way to structure that conversation. Figure out what like they're looking for and see if you're good. Yeah, that's my 2 cents on that one.
Okay. All right. That's it for me today.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Ali, what's up? Anybody else? You guys?
An agent just called me about a property. It's
Yeah.
It's an apartment complex, 40 units.
Okay. That's a good phone call.
Yeah.
Well, Kelly, you want to buy an apartment complex? Kelly's probably on the phone. Okay. Well, I mean, let's look at it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get the address. It's 18250 Weaver Street, Weaver.
What we're still in
Detroit.
so 40 unit. Oh, okay.
Yeah, she said they just remodeled all of them.
Investment vacant building. Okay, 40 multi-unit.
Or they needs rehab. I don't know.
Building class C. So cool. Let's so what kind of number is it? She's like, what's she at? What are they asking? Or I don't know if it was a he or she, but what are they asking?
They asking 1 million.
1 million. Okay. So 1 million.
But I gotta make sure it was her again if they already remodeled it. Because she said that's why I asked her twice. She said yes, but I want to confirm. See.
Of course. So yeah, if something, I mean, it's hard to believe.
Let's go in like zero rehab, probably because they already rehabbed it. Probably.
What are these? I mean, we're gonna be guessing a little bit. Well, is there tenants already inside, or there's no tenants?
She said no tenants.
No tenants. Oof.
Yeah.
Okay. That's scary. I'm trying to think.
I don't know if it says on LoopNet, does it?
No. So what are they 2 1s, 1 2s? Like what are these? Do you know?
No.
Okay. It's not that critical yet. But well.
I know it was bought back in 2020 for like $796. So I don't know what they did after that. If it's.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you definitely have to.
Yeah.
walk this. So I mean, I don't know. Let's see if this address will give us. I mean, we could look at. This is not going to give us anything perfect, but yeah, I mean, it's really right now. It's bad to run numbers off speculation. I mean,
Yeah.
what you have to do is look at other apartments complexes around,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't know. This is a little over. Okay, so did she say what or whoever say what they think it could rent for? What was their like? Did they tell you what they thought it could rent for every unit?
No, she just told me if you guys be interested in, like, if I'm interested in something like that. I just said, yeah, I'll look at it.
Okay.
Then we were gonna meet up anyway today to see a couple houses, and
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna talk more about it.
okay.
So we'll see what.
So on these, okay. So if you want to take a couple notes, these are
Yeah.
going to be the big ticket stuff, right? What are
Yeah.
going to be the annual taxes and insurance? I mean, they're not going to know exactly, but we got to get some type of numbering. Like, what are they paying now? And then you got to figure out as well. You got to build in operating costs, like, the trash. What is it going to? I guess it really depends, right? You got to figure out what's going to come out of the owner's pocket versus the tenants. Then you're going to need to figure out what the average rent is. Well, you want to figure out what it's split across, like how many 3-1s or 2-1s. You got to get all that information, right? How many of each style unit there is.
Yeah.
Whether it's 1-1, 2-1. And then you have to figure out what the average rent is for each individual unit. So if the 1-1's rent for something, you gotta have that. Whatever it is, right? And then you add them up and divide it by 40, right? And get your average. So we can get the average rent that you're gonna make on these units. Let's just say that they're $750. Operating, who knows, probably $1,000 a month. I don't know. It's hard to say. Management company for sure is going to be in here. You're not going to manage 40 units on your own. Probably closer to 10%.
Yeah. I just came back in here. Are you still just providing straight value right now, Sean?
I'm trying. So, yeah, I mean, I'll leave this one. This one's very interesting. I mean, look at that. I mean, I don't know what the average rents are. I don't know what the this is with 80% occupancy. It's saying that you'd make if you bought it at $1 million, you put down 300,000. You closed on it. I mean, closing costs would be way more. I forgot about that. I don't know what that would cost. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Let's just go overboard. Well, let's just put it at 0 and we'll throw in, $10,000 here. It's not going to affect your cash flow very much. Let's just put it like that. So, I mean, it really depends. I mean, if the average rent is $550 a month, I mean, your money's working for you. You're cash flowing. But then it's going to be right. And then if you could actually get it up to 90%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're doing good. Wait, what did I do? Yeah, 90%. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I need more details, but this is a very interesting one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a very interesting one. So
that's why I'm gonna have a sit down with her and get more info.
When are you sitting down with her?
Today, like a couple hours.
Okay. Oh, maybe like record it on the phone or something, or record it, maybe like tell her, like open up your laptop just so when she talks, you can listen to her, right? And then you can go back and kind of verify info. I don't know. I always like to record people. But I mean, these numbers, right? I mean, we're completely guessing. But for $1 million, I don't know what the average rent is out there. You know, I don't know what the neighborhood's like, anything like that.
I think the average rent over there is like 750 for 1 right now, and 2 + 1 is more, a little bit more, like probably in the 850.
Yeah, so like I
Rent
said,
right now is not cheap at all.
yeah, so like I said, I went really low. Well, I gave you
Yeah.
a low average here. So
Yeah,
I mean, 47% cash on cash return.
yeah.
Obviously, I have no idea what your operating expenses are monthly. They
But-
could be higher. They could be $2,300. They could be $2,500 a month. You know, I don't know.
The question is what exit strategies do I got with that?
Oh, you're
If-
not trying to keep this one?
I mean, if I have 300, I mean, how? I don't know.
We'll tie it up first, and we can talk about some exit strategies.
They're gonna ask for a lot of stuff for sure.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Nate, what do you think?
What do I think about what? Sorry, I've been on the phone.
Oh, okay. And so he's looking at an apartment complex. I mean, the numbers, we're just speculating a little bit. We went really low on numbers here.
What I found with apartment complexes is you got to get all the. I mean, if you're going to drop that much money, you really got to get all the data to really be able to analyze it. I've never bought an apartment complex, but you definitely, like, whenever I try to sell it to anybody, they ask me so many questions, my head starts spinning. I'm just
So
like, oh, gosh.
the biggest issue with this one is they're all vacant. So the fact that it may be all flipped and already may need no repairs, but your rent ready repairs is going to be the cost of money while you get to the point of hopefully
Rent on the month.
75% occupancy, right? That's the elephant in the room here, to go from 0 to 75. So, I mean, strategies like these would be to figure out, well, is the person who bought it, are they in trouble at all? Because if they are, right, we could keep their financing in place, and you would hire like a company to come in and fulfill it, you know, to go in there. And so you would start. I mean, it just depends, right? There's so many. You can't pick an exit strategy until you have all the numbers. That's for sure. So, you know, there's a lot of different ways, but this is through a broker, right? It's not through the owner.
The owner contacted her. It's like an investor out of Florida. And he asked her if you have some investors that buy, like, with those million plus homes, complexes and stuff like that. I told her, yeah, why not? I look into it. I don't miss out any opportunities, so never know.
Yeah. I'd have to get some different eyes on this one, you know.
I think
to
the
do a lot
occupancy
more
rate's going to be
diligence.
lower.
What's that?
I think the occupancy rate's going to be lower.
Well, yeah, of course it is. The question is, I don't know. That's the thing. Those are questions that I don't.
I think the bank calculates 75% occupancy on.
Yeah, I was gonna say like safety is like a possibility, right? I mean,
Yeah, it could be.
see, the interesting thing with these is like, I don't know. You know, I
But
don't know.
how would you, let's say the occupancy rate is 80, 75. How,
Mhm.
one time I've heard somebody, like a real estate agent, say on Bigger Pocket podcast, saying he went to some deals like that and did some seller financing, and then got other people involved and still makes, like, let's say 2,000 a month out of that cash flow. How would something like that work?
So it depends. So you could, if the person who owned this was in trouble, they had it at 7. Like, let's say let's say they're at 700,000, right? They bought it. They put in X number of dollars. You know, if they seller finance it, basically, to us, right? Well, it wouldn't be seller finance. If there's a note in place, if there's a bank involved, then it'd be subject to. If they own it free and clear, which I doubt, that would be seller finance. But the person in the middle, you're saying they stayed in the middle of it, right? So the way you can make cash flow and not own it would be you do a wrap on it and you wrap the equity and then you sell it to the next person so if you're paying them 7%, you pay them you get somebody to buy it for 8%, and then hopefully you mark up the end price as well. So you bought it for $1 million, you sell it for 100 million, a little bit over that. And then you get the percentage in the middle of whatever that is. That's called like staying in the deal. I mean, or the other way that people, when they buy these, right, they buy it and then once it's cash flowing, they can go to the bank and get a cash out refi. I mean, that's another way, right? That'd be Burr, to buy, rehab, rent, and renovate, rent, and then refinance. So
and then repeat.
Yeah. So there's a million exit strategies, right? It just depends like on the situation of the person who's selling it. It depends on what you're able to get it for. It depends on the level of work that it needs. I mean, there's too many hypothetical factors to figure out why. Like, I mean, we were, well, I don't want to talk about that deal yet because it's kind of in the works. Yeah, I mean, there's a way to, stay. It just depends, You were saying on the Bigger Pockets, so they seller finance it in that case.
Yeah, there was like an agent. He was talking about his success story. He started like seller financing, finding like units like that where even if he had to pay like 10% or 20% down, he'll find like a private investor with them and still pocket some of it every single month from these deals.
Yeah.
Still like cash flowing every month without any money out of his pocket.
Yeah. So that's.
I was just like confused. How would that work? How would you get like somebody to put money and then they make money, you make money, and then the owner still makes money? So
yeah. So the long story short would be, you agree with the seller on a deal that makes sense, meaning like a deal that somebody would buy. So
yeah,
you got your numbers, right? Let's keep it simple. You agree that the seller says, hey, you buy these properties for whatever price. Sometimes they could do no down depending upon the work, but let's just keep it simple. Like, I'll give it to you for $1 million. I need you to pay me in 5 years, 5-year balloon, and I'll give it to you, whatever down payment. If there's a down, if there's no down, whatever. Let's just say there's no down in this case, and he's going to do it for 5% interest only or something like that. Let's say that was a deal. I don't know if it's a deal, right? So then you would say, okay, cool, I'll buy it. And then you find somebody else that says, well, I'll pay. You could make money in any part of it, right? You could get a little on the down payment up at the front, right? They could give you a down. That would be like, that's not cash flow money. That's just down money. And then in the middle, you sell to him at 7% because it's still a good number, 7%. So that's where the cash flow is. Every month you make 2% because you're only got to give 5 to him and he's paying you 7. So that's your cash flow. Boom, boom, boom. That's the money every month you're talking about, your mailbox money. And then at the end, if you agreed, and so you would wrap the equity and sell it to somebody else, to an end buyer for an even higher price. And so at the end you say, you got to pay me 1.1, let's just say. So 100,000 at the end, 2% in the middle for 5 years, and whatever down payment you got at the beginning. That's I mean, those deals are out there. But
so basically the private lender would have to,
well, the lender,
I mean, not lender, like private investor.
yeah. So, I mean, it's more common. I mean, that's the definition of creative financing, but it's more common for a owner who owns multi-units and stuff like that, and these income generating properties. They're open to doing stuff like that and being creative because these are not their personal homes, right? These are just businesses for them. These are just cash flow. So,
What would happen after that 5 years though, Balloon? What is that?
balloon means you have to sell it. Like, he wants his money back in 5 years. So he's not going to take any money from you at the front. You're in charge of all the rehab, or, in charge of all that. He gives it to you at a discount. You're hoping that it's going to appreciate in 5 years for more. So you owe him $1 million until 5 years. That's what a balloon means. So he's willing to be the bank for you at a certain percentage. Instead of going to get the bank and borrowing the money, he's going to let you do it, manage it, do whatever. and the balloon is just what you owe him in 5 years. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you could. I mean, there's a lot of different ways, like literally an endless amount of ways you could structure the deal.
And then like I would just offer him like interest payment only, right?
It depends.
5
Depends
years.
what he wants to do. I mean, yeah, I mean, it'd be better if you're getting principal only, because then you're knocking down interest only. Kind of sucks. It. I mean, principal and interest is good because you're knocking down the principal amount that you owe him. So you owe him $1 million. You say, hey, I'll give you 5% every month, principal and interest, and that whatever amount, you knock that payment down a month. So then in 5 years, that's that calculator I showed you earlier.
Yeah.
You know, you would do an easy calculator. Where'd it go? Actually, I have it right here. Where'd it go? Okay. So, yeah, if you say, I'll give it to you $1 million, I want 5 years. This is amortized over 30 years like a regular bank loan. And this is interest and principal. So your monthly payment to him would be this amount, $530. And if it was principal only, or interest and principal, right? And you had it for 5 years, that's 60 months. You would owe him, or you'd be at 918. So when you went to sell it, let's just say there was nobody involved, you kept it, you would make this whatever it was worth. So if it was worth more, you'd make from 918 all the way to whatever you sold it for, plus any cash flow in the middle, right? So does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So but interest only, right? Then it's not knocking down this number. That's
Right.
not that wouldn't be ideal. That's great for the person who sold it, you know. But in this case, that's pretty hypothetical. But yeah, I mean, get some numbers for that one, and we can look at it again. You know.
Yeah,
Can you
definitely.
talk a little bit more about the wraparound, how that works, the wraparound aspect?
Yes. What was your question, Kel?
I'm just trying to understand wrap around. I've heard that term before, and
there's a couple. I mean, so you can wrap. I mean, it's like a different names in different states, but it just means like they're going to finance a certain percentage of it, right? And then you own a certain percentage of the equity, for example. So like you could wrap it and then sell it to somebody else and mark it up, right? Basically the same thing you're doing with the contract for deed, right? Like you can mark up your money, right, from what you're charging at the bank, possibly, and then you're selling it for more than you bought it. You're doing it on a term. So it's similar to what you're doing. I mean, but wrapping it just means that like you stay in the middle, and basically if the person that you sold it to defaults, right, it would go back to you. That's basically what it means, right? So you stay in the middle, and it's too, I mean, there's just too many hypothetical scenarios of what that would look like, right? I mean,
is that legal in every state? Is that a legal transaction?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have the right paperwork in America, you know. Gotta have the right lawyer. I mean, yeah, your paperwork does need to be ironclad. I mean, because there's so many clauses you'd want to make sure are in there that I mean, for you'd back out if you didn't like all the clauses, right? You want to make sure things, all types of different clauses that are possibly a big deal, you know, like especially for PACE and sub-2 students, right? It's like, I mean, you could do stuff like subordinate their equity in a lien position. It's, you know, behind the private money lender. I mean, seller needs to agree to, you know, first right of refusal for me to buy out the equity position. I mean, there's so many different clauses that these investors like. I mean, it just depends, right? The riskier the deal, the more I need to amend this thing, right? Like, I need to make sure that, you know, I could they could give me the ability to wrap the note to my end buyer, right? That's something that you would talk about, right, Ali? That's not something you would do behind the back of the seller. That's something you'd be open and honest about. You'd say, hey, I'm not your buyer on this one, so I'm going to go out and find it. The person that you sell it to, or the seller, they don't care. They're like, yeah, great, you know. In those scenarios, it's okay to be transparent about exactly what you're doing. There's no like pulling the wool over, right?
But the question is, would you be transparent how you just said it, or different ways? What if you scare the seller away? If you did
Um,
like that, you know what I mean? Or is there like
well, you would.
different
I
ones
mean,
you would use?
first you'd get all the info first, right? In a
Yeah.
stat, and then analyze it, figure out like, does this make sense, right?
Mhm.
But you use those different clauses, right, as like negotiation tactics. Like, well, I mean, if I'm going to give you a higher price, I need something in return, right? So whatever that is, whatever that looks like, it's just about risk and comfort. But yes, you would be transparent, just like that with the person. I mean, honestly, I mean, they have to sign it, right? So, I mean,
Right.
you got to be upfront with them. It's not even. And then also, right, the tax benefits of it for the person they get to hold the seller gets to hold the note for all that time. I mean, somebody gets to capture the depreciation. There's ways to negotiate for if he doesn't care about that, or if that's the whole reason he's selling it. I mean, he could sell it to you at a loss, and you could do a second position, and he could pay you back. I mean, there's just literally like hundreds of ways that it could be done. It's just all about what the situation is for the person selling it, and how can you address that creatively, you know?
And usually, like a lawyer would understand this kind of stuff, or
It has to be a real estate
real estate.
special, yeah, someone that those are great people to network with, because if they understand it, you know, they probably have properties that people that come back to them, you know, time and time
Right.
again with issues, and those guys can't buy everything that comes through. They don't. That's not their goal, right? But they probably get a lot of people that, you know, if they're really good at it, right? I mean, it'd be hard to get your foot in the door there, but still, I mean, those people are great to network with, because yeah, I mean, they're the ones that write up the contract, so they're the most important part of the transaction, ironclad paperwork.
Yep, that's true.
Yes,
I always look at these kind of things in my mind. I keep thinking I should own something like that. But my goal is to make $5 million in 5 years. That I can use that cash to build residual money off of that, loaning it out, etc.
Yeah.
So
Hey, by the way, sorry, go ahead.
I always have to look at every deal from 5 years out, whether that'll be something that prevents it from going fast enough or something that'll accelerate it.
Right. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, obviously when you hold properties, the risk is what's going to happen to it. So that's why you're in the flip game, because you know what's going to happen. I buy it, I fix it, and I sell it. I don't have any questions. Yeah, I mean, the tax incentive is the reason why obviously you hold it, right?
I would think that unit would be easier to get into than to get out of.
Yeah, I think so too, 40 unit, especially in Detroit. That's why I said, I mean, Detroit particularly, I don't know I'm not very versed, but you'd have to look at other apartment complexes around there. What do they look like? What are they selling for, right? Is there anything in the works? Like, are they building anymore? You know, I don't know. You just have to, that would take, you know, you'd have to look at that a lot more due diligence before you pull the trigger on $1 million 40 unit, you know?
Sean, you do such a good job on this call. You know, you're very multi-visional on the.
Yeah, I try to be. I mean, we love this stuff, man. This is what we live and breathe. So, I mean, it's I learn more every day. Let's just put it like that. You'll never know everything. That's for sure. I definitely do not. I know, you know, a surface level of compared
Nathan,
to what.
how's your mentoring program that you and Sean did the YouTube about going?
The all-in-one or the higher one, the mastermind?
I saw $100. I didn't that included exactly.
Oh,
I
shoot,
think it's
no,
going
mine-
well. I mean, originally when we first started, we got everyone a dialer. So it's $100 a month, and we were buying everyone a dialer at like 150. So we were losing money, but then we soon saw that not everybody was calling. So instead, we brought it down to a couple dialers, and then we let people schedule out their time. And I think it's going way better, where people feel like, okay, I don't have to call 8 hours a day, and we're not losing money. So it's going better, I think. We've had some bugs, but that can be you know. That's obviously going to happen when you first start doing something, you know?
Is it required for people that join that to JV on all the deals? that come from that program?
That's correct. Yeah. So it's kind of the give and take. Like we provide lists, we skip trace them, we put the dialer, we teach you, we kind of like even work with you on the deals and look at them. But if anything comes from that system and our help, then we would want to JV with you on the deals.
Yeah, that could be. Well, you would hope something come from it if you're teaching it right, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we're saying now is just people just need to take action. Like when I first started, it took me 3 months to get my first deal cold calling, and I was cold calling like 4 to 8 hours a day. What we're seeing in the program is some people are just calling barely, and it's like, hey, this industry, like if you want to get a deal, you gotta work hard, and then you gotta, once you make that money, you have to reinvest it into having other people work hard. So
I've got some people that I'm looking at for the acquisition side. One of them was like the top person with New Western here in Tampa,
oh sweet.
and he just got at odds or sideways or disrespected, whatever happens in relationships. And he called me the other day, about a month ago, and says that his non-compete is ending here in another couple months, and want to know if I wanted to bring him on as an acquisition person.
Do it. Get him in.
I'm
Bring
like-
him on.
I'm like, well, I kind of like, well, I'll have to see. I'm looking at a number of options, but yeah, we could talk about it. In my heart, I'm like, yes,
Yeah. Nice.
because he's got skill. He's great, good
Well-
posture.
Well, those
work ethic.
those non-competes don't mean anything anyway. I mean, what is it? What are they? They're not going to
just-
chase him down.
Yeah, he just ethically felt like he needed to stay, which is good, I guess, that he
Yeah.
keeps his word, right?
That's
It's a good
good.
quality, but you're right. I don't think they have a lot of teeth at all.
Man, I don't know about Florida. Georgia's a non-compete state, so good luck having that whole water in the courtroom, But I don't know. I'm assuming Florida would be pretty non-compete. It's a pretty red state.
No, they do non-compete. When I was in Door, they did non-competes for like, hey, you knock with Vivint or Solar, you can't knock for another company. It's like, well, what are you going to do about it? You ain't going to do
They're not
nothing.
gonna do nothing.
Yeah, you can't prevent livelihood. That's one
I
of
mean,
the.
it's not like those people don't have a book of business, right? You're making transactional sales, so
Exactly. That's what I mean.
For industries that have books of businesses, right? You're gonna take your customers and just bring them to another company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that I agree. That's why I can understand that. But if it's like, hey, you're getting new customers every
But that
day.
actually is a big deal in New Western, right? They're bringing their buyers because, that's what they're protecting, right? Oh, these are our buyers, like that we've forged relationships with. I don't know. New Western may be somebody that might have enough teeth to go ahead and sink them in, but
Who
I
knows?
just don't know what to do with them. It's kind of like getting the pretty girl at the dance and you don't know how to dance, right?
Right.
It's
well,
like they're all fired up about, yeah, I scored here, but then you go out there and
we need to schedule a chat with Real Estate Nate.
I just
But,
need somebody that could help me. That would be great. If I could just find that person, if I could just narrow down my world so someone came in focus that could help, that would be great.
Well, I'm telling you right now, once you find that right hire, your life changes. I hired someone that was doing a lot of the jobs I was doing. Her name's Josh. She's an awesome VA. My life has changed, man.
Shout out,
Like,
Joe.
oh my gosh, Ja is the greatest VA of all time.
So, Dalton, I don't know if you're still on here. Don't know what the details are.
Yeah. So this one, it has a new roof.
Okay.
It doesn't have the AC units were stolen.
Oh, okay, we're in that type of neighborhood, huh?
Yeah. Electrical needs to be updated. The kitchen has been fully demoed. And then there's no flooring's been demoed. So flooring, paint, kitchen, bathrooms.
Okay. Well, this thing's a little bit of a shite shack too. And it's not crazy
And-
nice, but this is the only kind of comp that I saw.
They said it was a 4 1.5, but Zillow's saying 2-1. So
Yeah, 4 1.5, huh?
that's what they said.
I mean, come on. So did they add an addition? Did you try to clarify that or?
Yeah, they said they bought it this way. And she said she's a realtor, so I mean, that
Interesting.
doesn't say much, but
My question is how do you fit 4 bedrooms? And so, I mean, okay, I guess it's possible. I don't know.
tight.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, so yeah. So the problem with these is like when someone says that, hey, it's a 4-1, and county record says it's 2. It's like, well, I mean, you'd have to the person who buys, right? Like I unless I go through get the permits, right, and get the work. So let's see what this says. So this says 2-1-2. So yeah, I mean, unless you're going to go through Hillsborough County, right,
Mm-hmm.
and pay for, I mean, basically you have to pay, right? And if the work that was done was trash, because that's obviously what happened, whether she knows it or wants to tell you the truth. If the work was trash, then they probably wouldn't allow, like, they would just, like, you basically just have to sell it as a 2-1. So I don't know. I mean, I guess the thing is, yeah, I don't know. So what do they want for it? That's the question.
She wouldn't spit out an answer, so
Because that's hard to run a number. I mean, we can look at the 3-1s because I'm not going to look at 4s. I mean, come on.
mm-hmm.
But the 3-1s, right? I mean, 297. This one's a 3-2, and we're right in here. So I mean, I'm assuming there's not much difference between over here and over here. I put a filter on it for 75. I probably need to go 1959. Honestly, I was just trying to just see what was there. So most of these are older homes, I guess. 57 or hers is 47. So I'll give it 10 years. I mean, this is this says 1,400 square feet. Looks big. I mean, that's sold for 450, right? So I don't know. That thing's they probably went crazy in there. Then you got these 355. This is like 1,000 square foot bigger. I mean, did she say the square footage was right though?
Yeah.
So the square footage is right, but okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, this one's tough to comp, I'll be honest. Especially with the lack of information. But I would look at something like this and think this is kind of where you're at. This 292, possibly 300 range, right? This sold in. So 295. You don't know what kind of work, but let's just start with the classic 50,000. So, because basically you need to go out there and give her a range, right? You got to throw something out. She's not going to give you anything. Yeah, I mean, so I would start, somewhere between, say, hey, I'd like to be around 125 to 150 range, right? You could obviously go lower. It's always good to go low because you can't backtrack, right? And if she doesn't, as Scott Levine says, if she doesn't hang up the phone, it wasn't low enough, right? But yeah, I'd probably start there, right? And say, well, I don't know. You'd have to get some picks, or I didn't fully listen to all the stuff you said that needed for work. Sorry. But
that's pretty much a full rehab, so it'd probably be a little bit more than 50.
Yeah, 60. So 75. So this would be a good number for somebody, right? If it's price point, like for what it would take to get it done. So, I mean, I would think if you could get it anywhere in here, the question is, what's the ceiling? I would say above 150, you're like to buy it. Because again, I don't know what kind of work we're talking about here, and yeah, I mean, I would think that around 150, maybe you could go a little higher, but what are you going to sell it to the end user for, right? I mean, yeah, I mean, so you need to sell it for like 160. Yeah, I mean, it all depends, but I would think if you could get anything under 160, you may have something.
All right.
Yeah,
and this one will be a little while because she wasn't even gonna look to sell it for another 2 or 3 weeks because they were using it for storage.
Okay. Well, maybe yeah. Get the no first. Go down there and make that offer. that dirt one, 115,
No.
125 range, 125 ish, whatever you want to say, right? Always come up from there. But
No.
sweet. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Anybody got any other thing? Anything else for?
Nah, bro, you should definitely wrap it up. You've been going for almost 2 hours, bro. You crushing it.
I'm gonna wrap it up, fellas. But you guys have a good weekend.
Great job,
and-
Sean. I mean, dude, the fact that you could just go on and do that for that long is impressive.
What do you mean? That's what we do, Nate.
Well, bro, right now, today my head is spinning with it. Yeah, the questions you've been answering, that you're on fire.
Sweet. Well,
Easy.
is that Damon right there?
Yeah, it's me. I was watching on Facebook. I had to figure out how to get in here.
Yeah. Kelly couldn't. I don't know what. Nate, we need to figure that out because nobody can ever join. I had to send Kelly the link. I had to send.
Yeah, that's how
Damon-
I got in. From a link you sent me a while back, a couple of weeks ago. I used the same one.
That's so weird,
Yeah,
man.
guys,
I mean,
That's true. Links don't change.
when we share this using StreamYard, in the description it has the link. So I wonder why it's not working for
That's-
people.
That's what I told him last time, and he swore up and down he couldn't get in. It took him 2 hours today to get in. So
Yeah, 2 hours.
Hey, no worries. All right, guys. Well, the last thing we want to leave you with, have a great weekend and take action. I mean, that's the way to get deals. I mean, in our company, I'm telling you guys, we ain't doing anything sexy or crazy. We're just making tons of offers.
tons of offers, guys, like a lot.
That's all it takes. All right. Well, have a great weekend, everybody.
All right,
Appreciate
take
it.
it easy, y'all.
Peace out.
See you guys.